Hi, this is Michael from Arch Enemy. You're listening to What's Metal, the heaviest show on earth.
We start with the usual stuff. Maybe you give a little band introduction and say maybe the age of the members.
Well, the age of the members is pretty much a secret, you know. We were all 18, and how we got the band together is, you know, pretty much. I don't know. You know, it's always a long story. I think, you know, when you just. But to make a long story short, I guess I was interested in starting to play, you know, brutal metal again after being away from it for a couple of years, and so I wanted to work with Johan, the vocalist, who I worked with in the past in Carnage. He's the original Carnage vocalist. I really liked his vocals, and so basically I wrote some songs. And he came down to my house, and because we all live far apart, you know, in the band, and you know, we found a drummer, which was the drummer that was playing with Eucharist tonight, Daniel Erlandsson, and you know, rehearsed 4 times, recorded the album. My brother came in and did some leads, so it was pretty much on a project level on the first album, you know, because it was kind of just some songs I made, and now. It's turned more into a real band, you know. We got Martin in on bass, just so Johan can concentrate on the vocals, and you know, things are starting to shape up. It's starting to become a real band.
Okay, on the first stage, do you agree when I say the first album was a solo project of you, because you wrote all the songs and half of the lyrics?
Yeah, but I probably wrote more stuff on this new album that we made. You know, I'm just really productive, you know. I write stuff all the time, you know, both lyrics and music. So, and the other guys are kind of are more slow with this, you know. But, you know, the songwriting process is pretty much that. Sometimes I'll write a whole song and arrange it by myself and just, you know, say this is it, you know. But sometimes my brother has some really good ideas, like one riff, you know, or melodies, or ideas for harmonies or something. I'll incorporate that and into our, you know, songs, and usually it works out pretty good with a combination of our styles, you know. So I think, you know, they influence me as well, you know, because I know that, you know, Peter, our new drummer, he can do all this crazy stuff on the drums, and it's like, well, you know, I'll write some riffs like this, and then he can do this, and you know, so it's basically it's just feedback, you know, it's just stuff going around. That's a good thing about playing, you know, music with other musicians, you know. And I'm always prepared to listen to other people's ideas, you know. If somebody's got a better idea than mine, you know, we'll use it. It hasn't happened so far. No, I'm just...
Yes, part of my next question. Instead, 2 questions in one. Where did you or do you get your influences from, musically and lyrically? And if you compare to now and maybe 8 years ago, would you make a difference in that point?
You mean if my influences are different now from them? Yeah, well, I mean, when I started out, when I was doing like Carnage, my influences were pretty much only brutal death metal, you know, Repulsion, it's Repulsion, or Executioner, Ravage, turned into Atheist, you know, just all these old demos. So when I started listening to death metal, there were no albums with death metal around, so it was only underground, you know, all this old stuff, the death stuff. I think probably like, you know, Scream Bloody Gore was the first death metal album I got, you know. It's like, I couldn't believe it. It was on a vinyl album with this brutal music, you know. I mean, if you don't count Possessed and Slayer and stuff like that. And it was, I think those were my influences back then, you know. Pretty much I just wanted to do, let's play a song. Let's have this kind of Morbid Angel type style, you know, like from a demo or something. But now I try to be a bit more, you know, I think I've come to a point where I kind of just play my own type of riffs, you know. I found my style, you know, and I mean, everything that I listen to, I guess, influences me, you know, but kind of when I play it, it turns into, you know, Michael Amott style riffs, you know, which is pretty much what I used in Carcass as well when I wrote for Carcass. I think Carcass influenced me a whole lot, you know. I learned a lot of stuff from Bill Steer, the guitar player in Carcass. He taught me a lot about rhythm guitar playing and putting songs together and stuff. And also, you know, basically I don't listen to really any, you know, there are very few acts that I listen to in the brutal genre, in the real, you know, like black or death metal. Like I like the Eucharist, the recorded album. That's really, really good. And I like the Immortal album, the new Blizzard Beast. I like some stuff. I like that one because it sounds like Morbid Angel. And basically I like more power metal style, 80s metal and 70s metal. And, that's maybe where I get my influences from. I really like Nevermore. The Nevermore band. I really like them a lot. I like this whole busy guitar riffs and a lot of rhythm changes and stuff.
Okay, talking about your lyrics, I read that you wrote half of the lyrics of Black Earth. Is it true? And if it's true, could you please sum up or give a short overlook of each song? What are the topics of it? Beginning with "Bury Me an Angel," for example.
"Bury Me an Angel," just a typical, kind of, I guess death metal lyric. It's kind of. Basically, I try to write the lyrics. First, I have the music, and I kind of listen to what the music sounds like. And usually, when it comes to me, I have the rehearsal tapes of the music that we've done. And I'll kind of, listen to the music, and it kind of comes to me naturally to just put words into it, because I'm thinking rhythmically. And, it's gonna be like da 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 da. These words will fit, and then I kind of. And sometimes I have an idea for a little story or something, especially on the new album. Kind of build it like every song's like a little mini concept thing, Like I wrote the lyrics for the Armageddon, CD with my brother. I wrote that it's like a concept album, like a sci-fi thing, And I wrote the whole lyrics and stuff. I wrote music for that one as well, but it's kind of, I don't know. I tried to like build a little story, kind of, but it's. Whatever fits the music, but some of the lyrics don't even mean that much, It's just, I see lyrics as music as well, It's got to be, because you don't have melodies in death metal really, in brutal metal. You don't really have that much melody coming from the vocals. All the melodies coming from the guitars. So the vocals have got to be, brutal. They also got to be, perfect, like a real good rhythm to the vocals. So. Spent a lot of time arranging the vocals, so I couldn't really go through every song and tell you what they're about because I can't even remember the lyrics. I don't have to sing them every night. It's Johan,
Okay, you produced in the studio Fredman, and I wonder that this studio is becoming very famous at the moment. What was your choice to go in that studio?
I heard, Slaughter of the Soul album from At the Gates. I heard, that, and I thought, well, I'm going there, That's basically all there's to it, I love the sound on that album. And I thought, I didn't really want to copy that sound, because I don't believe, I have my own style anyway, I have my own guitar sound, so I thought I can go into there with my equipment, my sound. The engineer, the guy that runs the studio, Frederick Nordstrom, is very good, with guitar sounds. Guitar sounds are very important to me. So, that's basically, I like the quality of the sound he gets, but I think probably our albums, the Arch Enemy album and our new album that we recorded, the At the Gates album, it's probably the best stuff I've heard from the studio. Otherwise, I think the productions are a little bit like this, quality-wise, but I think when you record in that studio, you need to have a lot of put your own mind into it, because he kind of just records it, And if it's somebody who comes in and says, "Oh, we want to sound like In Flames," if a German band or something comes and says, "We want the In Flames sound," he's just going to go, "Yeah, well, play like In Flames," or At the Gates or whatever, So I think it's the case like when everybody was recording in Sunlight Studio in Stockholm. Everybody wanted the entombed guitar sound and stuff, but it doesn't really work that way,
You said that you write down or produce your own style, your Michael Amott guitar style maybe. Can you generally classify your style or categorize?
Well, basically rhythm-wise, I really believe in big, heavy riffs, which that's why I'm not into real black metal style, because it hasn't got any heavy riffs. It's the opposite. My riffs are here and their riffs are there, I'm more into, Death, the band Death, the old style that they had, and Autopsy, I love that stuff, Like a real fat guitar tone, basically it comes from the heavy metal side, I guess. But they have the more high-pitched riffs, going really high in harmonies. So it is cool, I enjoy it to a certain extent, I think, some bands are really good, but it's not for me, I believe in really heavy riffs. I'm really picky about the rhythm guitar playing, I want it to be in a certain way. And I'm really into, aggressive picking, like I want the picking to be like a certain style, but difficult to explain.
Nowadays what you want, and I wonder, would it have possible to write Black Earth a few years ago regarding your skills as a musician, your mute, your experience, personal?
I don't know, it depends how long ago, but I guess I come to a certain point now, I'm 28. I've been playing this kind of music for 10 years. I guess I'm not getting, I'm not making huge leaps in my development like I did, After I played guitar for 1 year, everyone's like, oh, you're so good, for just playing 1 year, or you're so brilliant for playing 2 years. But now kind of level off for a while. It goes like this, and you kind of, now it's we're getting better, but it's at a slower pace, So, I mean, you'll hear on the new Arch Enemy album when it's released next year, but it's also a development, of the sound, and so everything. We're always trying to push forward, but I guess it's not, it's not like some bands, like the debut album of bands. The new band might be, like the guitars aren't even in tune properly or something, the drummer can't hardly play. It's not like that with Arch Enemy, because we've all been playing for us a while, so it's like, it's a matter of routine, I guess. It's like when we recorded the Carnage album in 1990, we weren't that great musicians, and you can hear that, now from the first Arch Enemy to the second Arch Enemy album, it won't be like, oh, they've learned to play, or they learned to tune the guitars, it's, because we're pretty much, we're quite professional musicians, I guess.
Okay, was something completely different now. You toured Japan some while ago. Were there some highlights you want to mention, and can you tell us about your support acts?
Pretty much every day, every second was a highlight over there. Because, in there it's totally different there, the media exposure and everything, and the crowds, 3 shows and 1,000 people per night, and everybody's singing along, to the solos and everything, everybody's singing along, and, it's a different, we got free guitars, guitar sponsorships, the MTV, in Japan, and, Burn Magazine, big feature, color, it's different, we have a big label over there. We sold about 20,000 albums in Japan, which is, good for this extreme style of music, It's like a band like Machine Head sell 10,000 over there, or Napalm Death about 7,000. Everybody was shocked, that it went so well, but they really like their guitar solos and stuff like that. They're a bit nuts about guitar solos. And, harmony parts, they just go totally crazy, It's a little bit like Germany, where people still like a lot of old metal. Like in Sweden and stuff, nobody likes old metal anymore. And in England, in America, it's totally, but I think in Japan, the death metal thing is, or kind of really brutal metal thing is just coming now, It's just kind of growing there now. They're getting used to the brutal vocals and stuff. So they're really into the high vocals, Blind Guardian and Gamma Ray, Halloween, all this stuff. They love that shit, But they're getting used to the brutal style now, but they love it when it's like got a lot of harmony parts and lead guitar solos and stuff like that. They really respect that, So the concerts were there, I think, were pretty much a success,
It's very unusual for a Swedish band to make the first tour in Japan. Why didn't you make a complete European tour first?
I think we played about 6 or 7 dates in Germany and Holland before going to Japan. But that's all, 1 show in Sweden maybe. Oh, we got the offer to play in Japan, you don't say no thanks, It's like, we're like, yeah, it's like a dream for me, It's like you can't really explain. It's totally different. The attitude in Japan is like, they really respect musicians over there in a totally different fashion. It's like for instance, me and my brother gave guitar lessons in all the guitar magazines and stuff, and like here we'd never get any into the guitar magazines. So here, like in Europe, it's like on the cover of a guitar magazine, it's like the guys from Korn or something like that. It's like, what the fuck is that? Well, they're not interested in great players anymore. But not I'm saying that we're great players, but at least we're playing in the traditional style, guitar playing, which is not very likable here in Europe nowadays or in America nowadays.
I wonder if you blamed Wrong Again Records for the fact that you didn't tour Europe, or what was the cause to leave that label?
It's pretty much a combination of. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, they didn't have, that label is no more now anyway, they stopped doing that label now. But it was a good label, They were the only, I never approached any other label to do the Black Earth album. But it was a one album deal. And, I thought it was a good thing just to get back into, because I wasn't even sure how it would turn out, because I just wrote the songs at home and I wasn't even sure. I was thinking, is this wimpy, is anybody going to like it, because I liked it, but I didn't know if anybody else was going to get into it, because I knew that this, the whole black metal thing was happening, and I thought I'll do my style, like I did in Carcass, with on the Hard Work album, just continue this kind of style and, with twin guitar stuff and see if people like it. And I did it on a small label. And they paid for everything, and I think it did quite well, on an underground level. Well, now we're ready to do it on a bigger level, hopefully.
On which level will the next album be released?
We don't know. Right now, we only have a deal for Japan, so they paid for the studio recording. But I have the rights personally for the rest of the world. They only have for Asia. So right now I'm talking to Century Media, Nuclear Blast, Earache, and Metal Blade. Those 4 labels. But we're only discussing over the phone right now. So but I haven't seen any like real offers yet. So we'll see what happens. This is really fresh. So. This has all happened in the week before we came over here now, so I'll see when I get back home I'll have to deal with this shit.
We already have heard the new songs today, but our listeners haven't, so can you tell our listeners if the new material goes in the same vein as the last songs, former songs?
I think it's a bit more mid-paced, there's not so much really fast do-da stuff, it's more mid-paced, more power metal influences, more classic metal, loads of more guitar solos, about 25 guitar solos on the album, lots of harmony parts, and we still want to keep a brutal edge, keep it really, the vocals are still brutal, but I think the songwriting is more, it's more organized, I think I spend a lot more time on these songs than I did on Black Earth. And, the guitar, the rhythm guitar parts are more complex as well, because I played all the rhythm guitars on Black Earth, just put down 4 identical rhythm guitars, so I didn't spend any time on arranging, a lot of different guitar parts. So on this new album, my brother did 2 rhythm guitars and I did 2 rhythm guitars. We wrote different parts, so there's more like stuff going on, The whole sound is a lot bigger as well. Production is as heavy as Black Earth, but not as messy, It's a lot clearer. You can hear every instrument separately without, there's better separation, But they're still in your face and really heavy, so.
Okay, talking about the future, what goals do you have regarding the band and reflecting your personal views as a person?
I don't know. I'm doing a lot of different projects. Like I wrote, a lot of music and all the lyrics for the Armageddon album. I spent quite the beginning of this year doing that. Then I recorded an album with Candlemass They're doing the Reformed Candlemass. I played guitar on this. And, recorded a new album with my other band, Spiritual Beggars. It's coming out on Music for Nations in January. And I recorded this new Arch Enemy album, so I've been pretty busy in the studio all this year. So, and now next year I probably won't be in the studio at all, you know. I'll probably just be playing live, you know. Because I'm pretty sick of being in the studio right now.
Who will do the vocals of the Candlemass album, the next one?
It's a new vocalist. It's a new guy. He hasn't done anything that you would heard, but he's good. It's pretty good. It's really cool to do the Candlemass thing because I was probably, you know, I always had the shirt, you know, back in 89, 88, you know, the Epicus t-shirt, you know, and Epicus patch on my jacket. They're like my favorite band for a long time, you know. I really kind of worship them, you know. It's doom style, but I didn't think that, you know, that Leif would call me up, Leif Edling, the bass player, or that he'd call me up, you know, do you want to play him? Like, you know, it's pretty strange. That was cool.
A few short questions regarding Armageddon. The title, Crossing the Rubicon, is similar to Benediction's Transcends the Rubicon. You heard of that? And were you aware of that fact that it is there a similarity?
I never heard about this album. But, I mean, obviously I know Benediction, I've met them loads of times, but I haven't followed their career, you know. I only remember the demo and the first album with Barney. Since then I haven't really... I've seen a video on MTV, that's all. I think they're kind of boring, you know. And the riffing is not very progressive, I think, but I haven't heard them for a long time. Maybe that was about 5 years ago, 6 years ago I heard them. So I wasn't aware of the title. I got the title from a book, you know, because the album is kind of about, you know, the planet, our Earth, being attacked by aliens, some survivors getting away in a spacecraft, and traveling into space, trying to find a new planet where they can live and you know, keep this race alive and stuff like this. And it's about that travel, and it's like, but it's like crossing the Rubicon. I got it from a book, you know. It means point of no return, you know. So it's pretty much, that's where I got it from. I didn't get it from Benediction.
And I wonder why can't we find a band photo in the inlet of the new CD from Armageddon?
Oh well, it's not really a band, you know. I mean, it's like the vocalist, we never met him before. Sings in a band called Ain't Thy Dreams. I'm really from the north of Sweden. Basically, you know, Wes from Wrong Again Records, he asked me to make some music, and then because he wanted a release, you know. Pretty much a project, you know. My brother plays loads of fast guitar solos on it, and you know, I'm not really that happy with it personally. You know, I probably wrote about 70% of the music, but it's kind of stuff that I thought, you have A riffs and B riffs, you know. I just saved all the A riffs for the new Arch Enemy album, you know, of course. But you know, it's turned out pretty cool. It's all done in about 10 days, the recording, you know, and stuff. It turned out pretty cool. But the only, I think Chris might do an Armageddon album again in the future, maybe, but he'll write all the stuff himself. But Martin and Peter, who are in Arch Enemy now, they also played on the Armageddon album. But they won't be playing with Armageddon in the future because I don't want the same band, you know. Yeah, I said either they can continue doing this if they want, you know, or they can play with me and Arch Enemy. It's up to them, you know. But, they played on the new Arch Enemy album, so I guess they'll be around for a while, unfortunately.
Short question, short answer, please. Arch Enemy is?
Metal.
If I would not be an Arch Enemy, I probably would.
Loser, which I am anyway, I guess.
Sweden is?
Cold.
Japan is?
Great.
Germany is?
Also great.
This interview was?
Fantastic. The best one I've ever done. So nice.
Cool down.
No, I'm always happy to do interviews, you know.
Manchester United?
I'm not interested in football. No. I'm sorry.
Michael, you're also playing in Spiritual Beggars.
Yeah.
You've now a new album out.
No, it's coming.
It's coming?
Yeah.
Why are you into, we call it stoner rock in Holland, but it's 70s groovy rock. You've got Arch Enemy and also Spiritual Beggars. I like it a lot because there are a lot of fans of Kai's over here and all those stuff of the 70s. Yeah. But why are you playing in Spiritual Beggars? Why you have a trio with Spiritual Beggars? It's an alternative or a hobby or something?
No, I mean I've always been into, you know, I like a lot of, Black Sabbath, The Right Heap, Deep Purple, all this stuff. You know, that's where metal comes from, you know. Yeah. If you don't like that stuff, you know, you don't like. I don't think you have a basis for liking new stuff, you know.
Back to the basics.
Yeah, I mean I enjoy it, you know. We have a lot of fun, you know. It's 3 friends, and you know, we just jam. We have a rehearsal room, and we all live in the same town. We can go around and jam whenever we want.
But is it a professional band or just for hobby or just for fun or what is it? Spiritual Beggars.
I don't know. What is it? I don't know.
I mean,
what the fuck is it?
Band? Is this Arch Enemy or is it Spiritual Beggars?
No, I don't really think like that. You know, I don't have any priorities like that at the moment because the bands I play with, we don't do that much touring. You know, so it's like I record, rehearse. You know, and I put. But right now, Arch Enemy is taking up more of my time because, you know, with Spiritual Beggars kind of style of music, you know, it's there's not that kind of fan base, you know. You get it, and there's no underground movement, you know, that supports it in a way, in the same way as it is with the brew music. But I enjoy both styles, you know.
You now live also in Sweden. I mean, you come from England or?
I mean, I've lived in Sweden since I was about 5. Yeah. My father's English and my mother's Swedish. But we're still British citizens. I'll tell you something really funny. When we came down from the border, from Sweden, we were like driving, and the customs office wanted to look at the passports. A German guy, you know, German border. It's like, you know, are you Arch Enemy? We're like, what? He's like a total metal fan. And he was sitting reading Iron Pages, you know, US metal book. You know this book about metal? He's saying, yeah, I'm reading this. And he's like, you know, do you have any T-shirts? And it's like, what? Totally crazy. He recognized our names, you know, in the passports. It's really weird. I didn't expect it.
You can answer interview in your own way. So we have any last comments to our listeners and your fans?
If we have any fans, you know, I think, you know, just, you know, check out the new album next year. And thanks for all the support that we've received, you know, for the Black Earth album, which I didn't expect at all. Because I thought this kind of music was totally old school, you know, out of style, you know, out of fashion. But seems like there's still some people that like it, so we'll continue to play for them. And, you know, thanks for the interview, that's all.
What will be the first thing you do when you arrive back home next week?
You know, just spend time with my family. You know, I have a daughter now.
Christmas time, I think.
It's Christmas time, and I have to think about getting money for Christmas presents. So I work, you know, part-time in a record store, so I'll have to book up, you know, some weeks to work now, so get some money for Christmas.